It's game day, baby. And you see Uncle Rel is already pre-gaming. We're making Philly cheesesteak taquitos with this sweet and spicy relish on top. We got some oyster mushroom wings for all my vegan folks out there. I see you. And finally, we're gonna make an elote queso dip with some chili lime chips. We're not making a drink because beer is totally fine. All right, let's get to it.
I'm former NFL player turned chef Darrell Smith, and I'm on a mission to spread love through food. Come hang out in my kitchen, where I'm sharing stories and recipes that feed the body and the soul, giving a fresh new twist on home-cooked meals. It's a little bougie.
That's good.
It's a vibe. It's all mad good food.
Once an athlete, always an athlete. And even though I may not play anymore, I still got that dog. And the same lessons that I learned on the gridiron, I now get to bring to the cast iron. And speaking of cast irons, today we're about to put these bomb-ass taquitos in there. Before we get started on our taquitos, I'm gonna make a relish, and these peppers are actually for the relish. And I just want to cut these into some blocks, all right? I'm gonna take a few colors. We got orange, we got red, and I like this because we just wanna add a few pops of color to our taquitos. So growing up, football was a very big part of my life. My father taught me how to catch a football at a very young age, and every time I dropped it, he would make me do 5 push-ups. Fast forward a few years, my first introduction to tackle football was actually during recess, and we would have a tennis ball, throw it up in the air, and whoever caught it, they would slam you, they would do crazy stuff to you on the ground. And so I would say that the football that I played as a kid was probably more brutal and dangerous than the football that I played in the NFL. Let me get back to the food, and we'll get back to the story in a second. We got a little bit of oil in our pan. I'm just gonna add our peppers. Next, we're gonna add our onions. Rough chop on these. That's looking good. Next, little habanero. We want that heat. And then we want that sweet with that sugar. Oh, yeah. We got a little bit of mustard seed, garlic. There we go. That's looking good. And now, we're gonna add our vinegar. We'll stir these ingredients together. And we'll just let this do what it does. What we're looking for are for these vegetables to soak up this liquid and create a nice relish for us, all right? This is good. I'm gonna go grab my meat from the fridge, as well as my cheese. And we're gonna talk about this. The griddles in Philadelphia are like no other. And so if you try to get a cheesesteak in any other place, it will never taste the same because the flavors and the seasonings of a real Philly cheesesteak are infused in the grill. And that's why you can't replicate that flavor anywhere else. Second, the bread. The bread in Philadelphia is also very unique. You can't replicate that bread, and so therefore, as a true Philadelphian, I'm not even going to try to make a traditional cheesesteak on the bread. Instead, we're gonna make some taquitos, which are a Mexican fried tortilla that you kind of stuff with stuff. All right, so we got our ribeye. This is the traditional meat used for Philly cheesesteaks. We have our provolone cheese. A lot of people think that Cheese Whiz is traditional, and it's not. In Philly, we don't eat Cheese Whiz. Geno's and Pat's might have introduced this Cheese Whiz craze to the world, but growing up, we either ate provolone or white American cheese. Anybody who knows me knows that I like to season my food, and cheesesteaks are no different. We got about a teaspoon of garlic powder, teaspoon of paprika, about a half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, cumin, coriander, a little bit of Italian seasoning, thyme, and a little bit of marjoram, which is like a licoricey flavor that I like. All right, for this, we're gonna start with a little oil, not too much because that meat is gonna give off some fat. We got some onion and we got some garlic. We'll drop those in. We just wanna sweat those down a little before we add our meat. Onions are going, looking good. And now, we're gonna start to add our meat. This is exactly how you do a Philly cheesesteak, paper thin. Drop this in. There we go, there we go. To that, a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're also gonna hit this with that dry rub. And you take one of these and you start to chop that meat up. I'm gonna add a little more because the more we chop, the more space we get in our pan. Chop it in. You know, it's wild. At home, every single Eagles game, during the commercial break, there's always a cheesesteak commercial. And it always starts with somebody chopping up meat like this with like 2. Look at that. Drumline, baby. I'm making a beat with that cheesesteak. That's looking real good. We adding that soul to it. Yeah, I like that. All right, there we go. It's looking real good. We'll let that chill. Our relish is actually done. As you can see, that liquid has absorbed into our veggies, and so we're gonna turn that off as well. Every time I buy tortillas in LA, they only come in like packs of 100. And so I always have leftover tortillas. And so this is a really cool way to repurpose those. To begin, we got our 6 tortillas laid out on the board. To that, we're gonna add a slice of provolone cheese and a little bit of that cheesesteak mix. Make sure you don't put too much, even if you like them fat. You want them to roll up nice and pretty. There we go. And this is something that's really simple. You could do this with your kids, you could do it with your family. Football is about family, whether it's off the field or on the field. Now that our tortillas are filled with our cheese and our meat, we're gonna go ahead and roll these up. And to begin, you wanna fold the sides over, almost like a burrito. And all we wanna do is kind of close up those sides so that the cheese doesn't ooze out when we fry it. Once it's rolled up, we take a toothpick and we go right through here, and it's good, just like that. And we wanna place these seam side down in our oil. I'm gonna use tongs so I don't burn my fingers off, and I advise you do the same thing at home. There we go. Everything is already cooked in here, so all we wanna do is just get a nice color on these. These are finishing up. When we come back, I'm gonna make some chili lime chips, some elote queso, and I got some stories to tell. All right? I'll see you in a second. Hey, sweet things, your Uncle Rel is back. We made our taquitos, we made our sweet and spicy relish. Now we're gonna get into our chili lime chips and elote queso. And so a lot of quesos will come with regular chorizo, which is basically spiced pork. But today I'm gonna use a soy chorizo. We're gonna put some corn in there, and it's gonna add some sweetness, which a lot of people aren't used to. But when you combine that sweet with that heat, my goodness, it is mad good. In this pan, we'll add our soy chorizo. While that's going, let's get started on our roux for our queso dip. We got a little bit of olive oil, and I'm just going to cook up a little bit of garlic and jalapeno. Now we want to add in our flour and then our butter, and we're just going to mix these two together. A roux is just a base for a sauce. And so that flour allows you to thicken it up. Once you got that flour and butter mixed, now we'll start to add in our milk. And continue to stir it. And it might look loose right now, but it's gonna thicken up right before your eyes when it's introduced to that heat. And finally, add in our cheese. And it kind of melts with that hot liquid. And that's about 1 cup of Mexican blended cheese shredded. Queso is good. Let's check on this chorizo really quick. This only takes a few minutes to come together. And I like it kind of crumbly like this. Get some of that liquid out. And that's good. We're gonna get started on our chili lime chips. I'm gonna take some corn tortillas, and we'll just quarter these. There we go. And then we'll just layer these onto a sheet pan. Just spread these all around. Teaspoon of cayenne, teaspoon of cumin, a little lime zest, a little salt. I like it, I like it. We just spray these with a little bit of spray. These are really simple, and it's one of those things that you can make, pop in the oven, and you don't have to worry about doing anything to it. I see a lot of people fry chips. I like the baked versions better because on game day, a lot of people tend to fry a lot of things. And so anytime you get to change up your cooking method, make it a little healthier, right? Baked chips. There were these moments when I really didn't understand where I was from. Growing up in the inner city, it's just condensed. And I remember going to Delaware and being like, damn, it's fresh air, it's trees. We had white neighbors, we had black neighbors, we had Indian neighbors. Whereas in Philly, all of my neighbors were black folks. And football was the one thing that was consistent throughout. And this was the first time I actually had a white coach. This coach would take me to the games each week, and I became friends with his son. And that was an experience that I never would have had if my parents would have kept me in Philly. And I would say that it truly shaped me. And with Philly, that's my foundation, like that's my home. You know what I mean? But I would say Delaware was the place that kind of molded me into the man that I'm becoming and the man that I am now. Let's get back to this. Look at these chips. Right? Nice and seasoned. You ain't even gotta buy them. All those leftover tortillas that we get in packs of hundreds, turn them into chips. Oven, 400 degrees, about 12 minutes. Now that that queso is cooled down, I'm just gonna stir in our corn. This corn, so we got roasted corn. If you want, you can roast it in a cast iron with a little bit of oil. If you got a grill, you could grill it. I like to take my corn and actually put it right on a stove top with the fire, and it produces that same effect as putting it on the grill. So you got options on roasting your corn. All right, that's looking good. Queso's good, soy chorizo's good, chips are in the oven. I'm gonna drink, and when we come back, I'm gonna show you how to make some oyster mushroom wings, and we're gonna learn about Syracuse. We're back, and now we're gonna get started on our oyster mushroom wings. I never really get to make that much vegan food, and all the vegans are always DMing Jazz, who then DMs me, telling me that they want more vegan recipes. So make sure you continue to flood Jazz's DMs, and then she'll pass that information on to me.
No.
We're using cashew milk for our dredge because it has a good mouthfeel, is vegan, and is pretty accessible. A little bit of apple cider vinegar, which is gonna give us some tartness and a little bit of sweet as well. And now, we just gonna dump these bad boys all in. Let's just toss these a little bit. All we wanna do is get them nice and coated and allow them to soak up those flavors. That apple cider vinegar also helps to tenderize these oyster mushrooms and flavor them as well. We'll put these to the side and we'll get started on our dredge. A little flour, a little cornstarch, a little white pepper, onion powder, paprika, and cayenne. Going back to my football days, Delaware was a really eye-opening experience because the first year I got there, I played Pop Warner football. And fast forward, my senior year, I'm the #1 ranked player in Delaware. I also get Gatorade Player of the Year, and I get a few scholarships, and it comes down to Naval Academy and Syracuse. And I still remember, I didn't have a Syracuse offer, and so I get on the phone to commit to Naval Academy because my goal was to play on TV. On the phone with Navy, and literally while I'm about to commit, Syracuse calls on the other line, offers me a scholarship, and I commit right there. 6 months later, I'm in the coldest place I've ever been in my life, and I'm like, what the hell did I just do? But I will say this, it was the best decision I ever made because Syracuse was truly one of those places that further developed me as a man and prepared me for life today. All right, this is looking good. I'm gonna get started on the sauce that's gonna accompany our oyster mushroom wings. We got about a cup of melted butter, lemon pepper seasoning, salt, onion powder, and we got about a ½ teaspoon each of that. Finally, lemon, I zested. I zest every single lemon. Come to my house, all my lemons is bald, just like me. Finally, we're just gonna get the juice off this bad boy. When you get to Syracuse, it is a very different experience. One, the locker room was so diverse and different that it just introduced me not only to different types of people, but also different versions of masculinity that I'd never seen in my life. Personally, I would say I missed the locker room even more than I missed the game of football. Even thinking about it now, my nickname was Beyonce in the locker room because I prided myself on this fat, juicy butt. This dance right here. That was my famous dance in the locker room, and now I get to share it with you. All right, here we go. All I wanna do is take a few of these, and we'll just dredge these in our flour and create like a glue for that flour and that cornstarch mixture to stick. There we go, that's looking good, that's looking good. Them bubbles just popping. Pop, 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 pop. Now all I'm doing is just allowing these to crisp up. I want a nice color on that crust. We only want to cook these until the crust gets brown. I would say about a minute to a minute and a half. Yeah, Zaddy like that. Zaddy like that, boy. I'll put these on some paper towel so that we can dry them off. I don't want them to be soggy. Yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff. This entire menu today is informed by my pregame meal ritual. Each game, I would eat filet mignon, chicken, pasta, and then I would bring a bagel with me to the game, right? And so today, inspired by the grilled chicken, instead I made oyster mushroom wings. And then in the same vein, inspired not only by Philadelphia, but also the filet mignon I had before the games, we made those cheesesteak taquitos. Football's all in me. I just spew it out like that. All right, that's done. Let me add a little bit more salt to it. Yeah, there it is. Let me taste one. Oh, hell yeah, what? Damn. Try this. Oh, y'all gotta try this, I'm sorry. What? All right, bet. Yeah, get them. You ever had these?
Oh my God.
I'm gonna do
You about to change your life. Yo, Sade, you a real one. That's good. Yeah, that's good, that's good, that's good. That's some good stuff. Obviously, I gave out all these oyster mushrooms, so I gotta make some more of those. We'll come back from break. I'll tell you a little more about Syracuse, also the NFL, and we'll put everything together. I'll talk to you in a second. All right, we're back, and we have everything ready to plate. I'm just gonna plate up this queso. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff. Nice and creamy. I like those colors. And then, to the top, we're gonna add a few more colors. We got that soy chorizo. Yep. Let's get that cotija cheese. Oh, this is looking good. I love cotija cheese. Here, give some to my belly too. Yeah, I like that. A little chili powder. And a little bit of cilantro. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Look how pretty that is, right? Next. Our taquitos. I'm just gonna ladle this all over top. Oh yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah, Zaddy like. Finally, we got our lemon pepper dipping sauce. I'm just gonna drizzle all of this all over and make it nice and shiny. There we go. Wow, 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 wow. I think we are in a great place. Not a good place, a great place. Here we go. Let me get a couple of these chips. We'll take one of these. We're gonna take a bunch of these. Yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. All right, let's try this. I'm excited for this queso. Yep. poquito. Yeah. Well, yeah. I like sweet peppers in my cheesesteaks, so this feels just like home. That queso dip is delicious too. I'm not really used to corn in it, but you get the sweetness and then you get that depth from that soy chorizo, and I don't miss the meat. Finally, you already ate you. You know the wild thing, right? Is you leave college and you get to the NFL and you are at the bottom of the bottom. Work my way up, go undrafted, and I'm picked up by the Texans and I kill it. Starting my second year, and I remember as soon as I became a starter, I called my step pop and I was like, I don't want to play this anymore. Football doesn't have to be the thing that defines me. And the wild thing is, 3 weeks after having this conversation of not wanting to play in the NFL anymore, the NFL took it away from me. Injured my neck, done. 20 years of playing football. Just like that, it's all over. And so I'll leave you with this. No matter what you do, no matter what it is that you are passionate about, that does not define you. The thing that defines you is the will, the work ethic, and the love that you put into anything. Because even though I'm not on the field now, I still get to carry the field with me everywhere I go. And so, I'm gonna leave you with that, all right? I'm gonna get back to this food. I'm gonna drink myself a beer. Cheers, and I'll see y'all next week.